3 scary real Christmas horror stories. I don't do reactions like that, you feel me? But I feel like we should start getting into the more reaction stuff. So we finna get into this video today. This is by Mr. Nightmare. I ain't gonna lie, if you don't know who Mr. Nightmare is, this dude just tell all types of scary stories, all types of crazy. I guess people send their story in, and you feel me, he just if he put it out. But I don't know how this work, but y'all see we in the dark by myself, nothing but me and my dog. That nigga done left me though, so I'm in a bit dolo. For everybody who's new, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead, like the video, noti bell. You got to, you have to, you literally have to. Y'all don't got it on. Go ahead, pause this video, do whatever you need to do, and click it on right now. I ain't even finna waste y'all time. Let's go ahead and get into this reaction. I'm trying to see what can happen scary on Halloween. You hear me? Story 1.
It was Christmas Eve night.
Ain't no way.
We always hosted Christmas Eve at our house when I was a kid. My grandparents, uncles, and my cousins would always come. This year I must have been like 12.
Y'all hear this nigga voice? This nigga's whispering in my damn ear right now. You feel me? Hold on.
My mom was making duck, as she always did on Christmas Eve. I was helping her cook and prepare this year because my dad actually had a really bad cold and was trying to not touch anything or stay too close to anyone.
This really a story.
Our family slowly started showing up one by one. My Uncle Joe first, with my cousins Chris and Valerie. They were the closest in age to me, so I've always been closest with them out of all my cousins. As soon as they got there, I got distracted from helping out my mom because Chris brought over a video game for my PlayStation that I'd been wanting to play, Driver 2. We ran upstairs to my room to put the disc in and play, and Valerie came just to watch. But within a few minutes, my mom called my name up the stairs angrily, ruining the fun. I was hoping she'd just let me play, but she was already stressed from the amount of work that cooking and preparing for a big family is. So we had to resume playing the game later. We left it on pause, and all 3 of us went back downstairs. Most family had arrived already. I was juggling saying hi to everybody while helping set up the table and stuff. Within half an hour, the whole family was there, and dinner was almost ready. The table was already set, and half the family was already at the dinner table, including myself. Then I remember my mom yelling, "Ah, shit." She yelled for me to run to the basement to grab the stuffing, which she forgot to make. Our house...
I hate shit like that, bro. Why do moms always make you go do for they mess ups when they mess up? I talk a little low, but why didn't you go get it? You think I want to go down to a basement? You think I want to go down to a... I lie. I'm sorry. I know in Texas they don't got no basements like that. You feel me? I think in Texas all we got is like attics and stuff. I still won't even go in the attic. Call me scary, call me what you want. I'm not touching no attic. I'm not going to no attic. I ain't gonna lie. It's forever, and I ain't gonna lie, never, no.
Didn't have an actual pantry closet, so my mom used the backside of the bar in the basement as a pantry. I went down to the basement to fetch the stuffing. I was behind the bar looking for the damn stuff when I noticed a blanket covering something in the corner next to the 2 sofas. At first glance, I assumed it was a person, one of my cousins hiding, trying to scare me. As I walked a little closer, I could confirm it was a person based on the shape of what was underneath the blanket. I could see the person's head. I stood there waiting to see if they'd react to my not making noise. I was wondering how he or she would know when to jump out to scare me if they couldn't see me under that blanket. Suddenly the lights to the basement turned off, and I heard the basement door slam shut. I yelled "screw you" to whoever it was, Valerie or Chris. I knew it was one of them, not my older cousins. I was going to scare whoever was under the blanket. I had a feeling the 2 of them were trying to mess with me, but now the joke was on them. I was going to scare whoever was under that blanket. I tiptoed on the carpet to the corner of the room and yanked the blanket off whoever it was and started screaming to scare them. But instead of hearing one of my cousin's childish screams, I heard nothing. Then a very strong grip grabbed me. Whoever it was went for my neck as soon as they felt where it was in the dark. For a few seconds I thought it was Chris roughhousing me, and I was screaming at him to stop, but this felt like the grip of a grown man.
Oh,
I started
no. Oh, no. Oh no, bro! How do people just be having people living in their house and not knowing, bro? That is so weird. God forbid that ever happened to me. But how, like niggas just be living in people's house, like bro? This is not the first time I heard a nigga just staying at somebody's house. How does that happen? How do you even feel comfortable going to live in somebody else's house? Like, bro, just bro, camping in the base, bro, got caught.
Screamed for my life with whatever air was able to escape my lungs. The door to the basement opened and the light turned on, revealing an old, dirty, disheveled-looking man. He let me go and ran to the basement door which led to the backyard, not the basement door that led to the upstairs. Half my family came rushing down. I was crying and screaming he went that way, pointing at the open backyard basement door. Two of my uncles ran outside to try to find him, while my mom and aunts came to my side to try to comfort me as I was crying. I was literally shook.
Bro, what do you do in that situation, bro? You just go downstairs and then, you feel me? It's a nigga in your house. Like, what do you do? I don't know. Because as a kid, first of all, as a kid, I'm beating feet. I'm beating feet crying. But as a grown man, like, be real with yourself. As a grown man, are you going to fight someone that's in your house living there, or are you just going to dip out? Or are you going to fight? You feel me? We only got two reactions in our body. Flight or flight. Which one y'all doing? Personally, me, we in Texas. You feel me? Them gun laws, stand your ground is something that we believe heavily over here. So I might have to bust his ass. That's the only option. That's the only.
My whole body was shaking and I felt ill. My mother called the police to report this. My uncles were out in the streets for like 20 minutes looking from house to house for the man. It made no sense because it didn't look like he would have been able to make it too far, which makes me think he was hiding somewhere in the backyard or a neighbor's yard. The officer said it sounded like some homeless squatter hiding from the cold, and that they'd gotten a number of these calls that month. That didn't make things sound any... It was Christmas Eve night. I was a little kid. My dad was briefly dating this woman named Sydney. My mom died when I was really young, so for most of my childhood, I didn't know what it was like having a motherly figure in the house.
Rest in peace, my
dad started seeing Sydney. She would spend the weekends at our house once in a while, and my siblings and I liked that. Sydney always seemed like a decent woman, but I was a little kid, and I was perhaps biased because I just liked having a woman in the house. It was Christmas Eve. Sydney was spending the weekend with us for Christmas. I don't think she had much family herself. We watched the movie Elf as a family, my brother, sister, dad, and Sydney. After the movie ended, my dad and Sydney went to bed. I stayed up with my brother a little later to watch the Polar Express. Around the time the movie ended, Sydney came downstairs to tell us that it's maybe time to go to sleep. I was young, but I was old enough to be suspicious about Santa Claus by now, and I had a feeling it was always my dad putting the gifts under the tree. I went to my room.
I ain't gonna lie. One thing, I remember I used to really believe in Santa Claus as a kid. Like, my mom had the ultimate finesse. She finessed the hell out of me. You feel me? She had my we made a whole thing for Santa. We built a little gingerbread house and had my stepdad come and take a big ass bite of that, and next morning just left. And I'm like, damn. I'm like he just took a bite of it. He couldn't grab it and then, you feel me, take a piece so I can have some. Nah, cause I was real like mad at the fact that Santa took a piece of the cake. I was like, bro, what the hell is this? This selfish ass ain't gonna take one piece of this and not share. You feel me? But I really believed in Santa. And after that, I remember I found like a little random ass camera in my house. It was like a recorder camera, and I tried to set it up to catch to catch Santa. And I was like, bro, like, where the fuck is this nigga? And the camera footage never worked. My mama pump fake my ass out the ass until I really had to lock in and realize, you feel, this nigga is not real. Like, bro.
Room to play video games for a few hours. I snuck out of my room around 12 o'clock to see if the presents were under the tree yet. My bedroom was the only bedroom on the den level, so every other bedroom was upstairs. The living room and tree were on the first level, a half flight of stairs above my bedroom. I snuck out of my room and tiptoed up the stairs. I peered into the living room, which was lit up by the Christmas tree. There were presents under there, and there was Sydney under the tree. At first I thought she was placing the gifts there. and I thought I was right all along, that Santa wasn't real.
Sneak down.
But
You know, the moment I realized Santa wasn't real, I remember I found all my presents in my mama's closet, and then I started peeking in them, and then I got my ass tore up. My mom almost took back all my presents. I got an early Christmas that year though. I was happy.
Quickly realized she wasn't placing the gifts there. She was shaking them, like trying to figure out what's inside of the boxes. She picked up one gift, which was in a gift bag, started digging through it, and pulled out something that looked like it was for my sister, like makeup. She analyzed it and put it back in the bag. I didn't know what she was doing, but I kept watching. I saw her walk to the kitchen and go to the ledge where my dad keeps his wallet. What I saw next, I couldn't believe. She went through my dad's wallet and took out a few bills and put it in the pocket of her pajama pants. I kept watching as she went into the cabinet above the ledge, the medicine cabinet.
Wait, so is it her?
She took out what looked to be one of my dad's prescription medication bottles, and she started analyzing it. She opened it, sniffed it, and then looked to her left, right at me. It was as if she was about to do something very bad and was checking that the coast was clear first, and she saw me right away. Her eyes widened and she put the bottle back in the cabinet. I hurried down the stairs back to my room and crawled into bed, with my little kid mind thinking I somehow could still pretend to be asleep. Seconds later, the door creaked open and then shut. I didn't look, but I didn't know if she entered the room or not. A few minutes passed and I finally felt it.
I ain't gonna lie. Fuck that. If you hear your door open in the middle of the night, you got no other choice but to look. Why wouldn't you? You just gonna sit on the other side and keep staring the other way? How you gonna protect yourself? See, me as a kid, I was on that. Like I had the mindset, like if somebody come in here, like I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do something. I know I was little fragile, but I'm gonna do something. Ain't no way I'm just finna stare and run direction. There's no way that I'm doing that.
It was safe to check if she was gone. I looked up.
These kids don't be on that
standing
nowadays,
right over
man.
my bed. I gasped and almost screamed. She looked down at me. All I could see was the
What up? Oh my God, she would have failed every
silhouette of her figure,
telling you,
making
boy.
the sight of her
She
even
would have failed
creepier.
every single one of them.
She said she saw me watching her and said in this angry whisper that she wasn't doing anything wrong. She just wanted to make sure my dad was taking his medication.
While I'm sleeping.
I replied, okay. She said Merry Christmas and left the room.
Oh no.
The next day, after we opened gifts, my dad came into the living room angrily and said, "Who took $60 out of my wallet?" I looked at Sydney right away.
I'm snitching. I ain't gonna lie. I'm snitching. You just stole from my pops. I gotta snitch.
Glanced back at me as if she knew that I knew. At that moment, I didn't tell my dad what I saw. But later that day, when my dad was still angry at my siblings and I, thinking one of us did it, I told him the truth of what I saw. My dad didn't believe me at first,
at least he
but when I told him that she was
nigga
going through his medication too,
you feel me?
he started to believe me, because why would I lie about that? Later that night, this created for a rather loud conversation between the two of them. But shockingly, my dad didn't ask Sydney to leave.
Right in the middle of it.
She didn't admit to stealing his money, and I think my dad simply didn't know what to do. That night, I had my bedroom door locked, which my dad always told us to never do, but I just felt safer with it locked that night, and thank God I did lock it. Because around the same time as the night before, I heard the doorknob to my bedroom door jiggle a few times. It was undoubtedly her, which the next day I confirmed when I asked my dad if it was him, and he said no.
No! This is why I don't do reactions. This is exactly why these ads.
Christmas night of 2021. It was a Saturday night.
Somebody tell me how to get around
ads,
ads, bro. I mean, ad block or something. I don't know what's going on.
Weekend. I was staying there from Saturday, Christmas Day, to Monday. For Christmas Eve, I went with my girlfriend's or her family's gathering. For actual Christmas, I'd be with mine. She didn't come with me, though. Our Christmas gathering wasn't huge, since our family's so spread out over the East Coast. It was my parents, my older brother, his girlfriend, my aunt and uncle, and myself. The house is big enough to accommodate all of us. We all did our family tradition of watching a movie together after dinner with the fireplace going. This year we watched Bad Santa, one of my dad's favorite Christmas movies. After the movie, we had pumpkin pie and ice cream, and afterwards played cards. Around 11, everyone started to get situated wherever they were sleeping. My brother and his girlfriend took one of the 2 spare bedrooms. My aunt and uncle took the second. There was a nice pull-out couch in the living room that I'd be sleeping on, which I did not mind. I liked being able to sleep by the fireplace and tree. It was very cozy. I had the TV on as I was nodding off. When I felt that I was about to fall asleep, I turned off the TV and Christmas tree lights. The fire was breathing its last breaths, and the room was just about pitch black. My memory faded into a dream actually about Christmas and my family. Only in my dream, we weren't at my parents' house, we were at my uncle's house, and more of my family members were there, like my cousin Jackie and my aunt Melissa. It wasn't a very exciting or unusual dream. We were at the dinner table, when suddenly all of my family members in my dream stopped talking, turned and looked at me, and my aunt Melissa said in a very serious voice, "There's someone in the house, wake up."
What the what?
I actually woke up after this.
Hey, I'm
My heart
not
was
good with
already
jump
racing
scares.
for
They
some
ain't chill.
reason. The way my dream ended genuinely disturbed me. I
Bro,
sat up.
I ain't gonna lie. Quick story time. It's gonna be real quick. I ain't gonna lie. I had a dream so crazy one time. Like, I was asleep and I was like next to my girl. And it wasn't like a dream. It was like I wasn't even, it's like, I wasn't even dreaming at all. It was like pitch black. And it was just pitch black. And then all of a sudden I heard sirens and I was like in like some type of, and I was like in like some type of like ship. I was in like engine room in like a ship or something. All I heard was sirens. All I heard was, "This is not a drill. This is not a drill." All I just kept hearing was just loud sirens. "This is not a drill. This is not a drill." I'm like, bro, what the? And then when I woke up shaking, like real life, like my whole body was shaking. And then my girl, who I was cuddling with at the time, she said like I gripped her like middle of sleep, and like, you feel me, like while I was shaking this, I'm like, what? Like, I don't remember none of that happened, but like, I ain't gonna lie, that was dreams. I don't know how I don't know why dreams do that, but I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of scary. I ain't gonna lie. I would
The
never
super high
forget
ceiling
that.
of the living room made me feel even more exposed. I heard a creak in the floor where the kitchen and living room meets. I looked in that direction.
Hold on, this got me looking around the
The fire
crib.
was
Hello.
completely out now. There was no light in the room. Yet I thought I could see a person standing right where the kitchen starts. I said, "Is someone there?" expecting one of my family members to answer back. They didn't. The silhouette-looking shadow in the doorway of the kitchen was still there, though. I sat up just a little more to look closer at the doorway. The silhouette then started moving.
Bro. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I couldn't be a kid going through that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, no. As a kid, oh my God, bro. But I ain't gonna lie, as an adult, like if I go through that now, oh my God, I pray. I pray. This is why every day before I go to sleep, I make sure everything's locked. Like, I don't, like, people, you call me paranoid, you call me whatever. I make sure back door, front door. I even be triple checking. Like, I'll go lock the door, and I walk halfway to my room, like, did I lock the door? I go check again. And I get back to the room, and I still be in my mind, like, maybe I should go check. Did I get the front door? Like, bro, both locks too. I don't feel safe with just one. I need both of them. I need extra security. I'm checking the
was a
windows.
person.
I'm telling you, bro.
"Who is that?" I said louder.
This is crazy.
Whoever it was went towards the back door.
Worst fear.
And I heard the back door close. I started screaming for my
Well, it's
family
not
to wake
worst
up.
fear, but I ain't gonna lie.
And everyone came out of their rooms.
That's creepy.
Everyone. So what I had just seen was none of my family members. So my dad, brother, uncle, and I threw on our shoes and coats and ran out into the cold, looking around. We found a set of footprints in the snow leading into the woods. Mind you, it was like 2 a.m, and the neighboring houses aren't exactly on top of each other, so none of us were exactly eager to go into the woods following some unknown person's footsteps. We instead called the police, and while we waited for them, my brother and I stood in the backyard watching the woods. The creepy pitch black woods where someone was hiding, potentially looking back at us without our knowledge. Everyone else was inside looking to see if anything was stolen, and surprisingly, nothing of serious value was missing. But also, it's not like my parents had jewelry or money just sitting out in the open on the first floor. The police officers who came followed the footprints into the woods as far as they could until the trail seemed to disappear or just became impossible to follow. They had not gotten any other calls regarding break-ins that night, at least not to that point. But the next day, nothing was on the news about any break-ins either, so it may have just been a one-off fluke thing and my parents' house happened.
I ain't gonna lie, me hearing that, it made me feel like that nigga knew y'all. Like, think if nothing was stolen and like they just come to your house, I feel like a person would, but he ain't do nothing to the little boy on the couch, so I don't know. I don't know. That's weird.
Be the target of someone trying to steal valuables, like expensive Christmas
Maybe they
presents,
got the biggest
potentially.
house on the block.
I'll tell you one thing though. I had a rough time falling asleep that following night in that living room again. The image of
You
that person.
went back to sleep in the living room? Boy, I'm sleeping on somebody's couch. I'm sleeping, not say couch. I'm sleeping in somebody's bed. I don't care if I'm cop block. I don't care about none of that. Somebody let me sleep in the bed next to them, and y'all gotta be older than me because I'm not doing none of that. I ain't gonna lie, cause what, bro? I'm a kid, and you gonna make me sleep on the couch again after what I went through that? After I just went through that? Nah, I ain't gonna lie. They L family
Person
members,
in the
bro.
doorway to the kitchen still haunts
That's
me.
L family, bro. That's L family, bro. All right, bro. That's the end of the video, man. Let me know how y'all felt about this video. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of this shit is crazy, and I pray none of this ever happened to me. So, or anybody who's a viewer, I pray this happens to no one. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody just keep your doors locked, both doors, all windows. You feel me? If you hear something in your crib, keep the door locked. Make sure you got that. Make sure you got it on. Make sure you got it on you in the crib. If you by yourself, make sure you got it on you in the crib, bro. You'll never know. You'll never know. But for all new subscribers, go ahead, like the video, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section below. Y'all don't be commenting no more, bro. Y'all gotta start commenting, commenting. You feel me? Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. We out. Let me know if y'all have any other videos y'all want to react to.